Hey, welcome to Unmaking a Mess with Darlene Morgan. You can find me on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and my online blog titled the same, all titled the same, Unmaking a Mess. I just finished writing this post, and you can find it on my blog, Unmaking a Mess. And I decided, hey, you know what? I am really on a roll today on getting things done. So why not just try to record it? Because usually I go through it and read it and see how long it takes. And I decided that this time I am going to try to take care of two things at once. So I'm going to read it and see how it goes. And I may keep it, I may not. But anyway, I just feel really good about this, and I wanted to get it out as soon as I could. So in my last couple of videos, I talked about these curves that were getting sent to me and just how I was needing to handle them and the outcomes of them and everything. And oh my gosh, it's been so much. So I absolutely wanted to update you on everything, because really this is something that is a huge part of the reason for my blog, is to show you guys that with God it is possible. And this is a great example of how things can really go wrong. And it's not like, he is there to take things away or remove them from you. He's there to actually just kind of support you through it all the way, and how much we really just need to trust him. And that was something that has always been difficult to me. But anyway, I'm going to get started on this because it is kind of long, so I really hope I can keep it at least at 18 minutes. Uncurving the curve. Yes, I know uncurving is not an actual word, but considering Unmaking a Mess is my blog title, I felt it was appropriate to create a word for this mini curve series. The outcomes. When I discovered our benefit had decreased substantially in July, I felt it. I was already going to be short funds because I had two debts to take care of I do not usually have in our monthly expenses. I had to fix Clara's car to bring it up to par. Wow. To bring it up to par for driving, and that was over an $800 fix for brakes, battery, an oil leak, and it was well worth it. We haven't had to do a whole lot to the car since we've gotten it, and she's the third owner in our family, so it was definitely worth it, not to mention the fact that we had a local mechanic handle it, and he just did a great job, and I appreciate it so much knowing that we could trust somebody. I also purchased an extended warranty on our fridge that we just got, and also signed Clara up for a volleyball showcase. So those were a couple of expenses that we don't normally have. I realize that warranties can be a real joke, but considering how things have been going lately, I really didn't want to take any chances. And so I wanted the additional coverage. The volleyball showcase will be just one of many that she will get to go to as a way of getting her seen by recruiters, not to mention the fact that it is a more affordable direction than going the expensive club team route in Kansas City, where we thought by doing that she would have some exposures to recruiters, but that absolutely did not happen. So lesson learned. We ended up going back to a more local club here in town, and could not be happier. Really looking forward to the season. It's more affordable, really great coaches, serious coaches, but also fun. And I just can't say enough about it. Club sports, wow, criminy, I have learned so much about it that I know that's something else that I eventually am absolutely going to write about, because I've learned so much and it's all worth sharing. As far as the curves go that we've been thrown the last month, they each came, as far as I'm concerned, with a positive outcome. All I had to do was wait and trust. I felt I did fairly well at the waiting and trusting. I mean, as soon as I saw our benefit decrease in July, where am I? Oh, sorry. As soon as I saw our benefit decrease in July, and then of course half of it is going to go away in January, I had plenty of reasons to go into a full-blown panic mode. The old me would have been stressing out day and night and been very short fused with even just the simple quandaries that happen to us and everyone else. But thankfully, thanks to God, I have not been my old self, which is a very good thing. There were a couple of instances where I really got ticked off at my girls. And one time I was really inconsiderate because I think I was just so focused on the depletion of money. I did not bring up the subject of the girls trying to pay for more stuff themselves. And it did not go over well. I know as parents, we want to just say and tell our kids something. But you know, when your kids are 18 and 20, you can't just say and tell them anything anymore. I mean, you can to a certain extent, but not like you used to when they were probably 8 and 10. And so in this particular case, I apologized and then let it go for a couple of weeks. And then at that time, we went to a coffee shop we were sitting at, and I brought it up again. And wow, what an excellent conversation. It just went so much better. A lot for not only me to learn from, but also them as well. The shoe scam result, you know, the one where I got onto the website and ordered my daughter's shoes without doing any kind of research. Well, I let that go too. As I had mentioned before, I had to totally suck it up as a loss for not taking more time to look into it better and knowing that I was just going to be out that $54. What I was not willing to do was allow the company to think that they had one over me and let them do this to somebody else. I waited a few days once I requested my refund, and when I noticed that I was not seeing anything yet, I contacted them again, only to get this email, which just further confirmed what a scam they were. The guy or whoever it was on the other end of the email said, well, we noticed that you have a dispute against us, and if you would discontinue that dispute, you'll get your money back quicker. No. I mean, really, I, was ridiculous and dumb and a fool once. I was not going to be that way again, and prayerfully, not again and again. So I contacted PayPal, the credit card, whom, I went through to get the shoes and told them what I was told. And man, this girl that was on the other line, I could tell she was pretty young, but so patient and so considerate. She said, no, they can give you back your money regardless of the dispute, which I pretty much knew. But on the other hand, she also said, do you have time to sit on the phone with me and send me screenshots of the emails? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I sent her about 15 screenshots and I said, wait, I've got one more. And she kind of chuckled and said, no, it's okay. I think we have plenty to favor you with a refund from PayPal for the entire amount. And that included the cancellation fee. I was absolutely beside myself that this was happening. And right then and there with her on the phone, I just praised God and I said, thank you, God, and thank you to this girl. And I had to wonder, and I asked her, I'm like, okay, so I'm getting my money back. You guys are giving it to me. So how do you get your money back? I was just curious. I mean, big company. I figured that they would just take it as a loss, but no, they apparently freeze the person's account or the company's account until that company pays them. And I thought that was pretty cool. So that happened. Pretty much the same thing with the fax app that I got scammed by, the one where I tried to download it so I could fax papers to my insurance company. And yeah, so got my $18 back from them as well, which was another huge praise. The email that I wrote to all the women apologizing for not coming to do the speaking engagement. I never heard from any of them, but that was okay. Sending the email and apologizing was absolutely the right thing to do, and I'm really glad I took the time to do that. The elderly woman that does the artwork, I finally caught up with her and met with her, even though the day that I was supposed to meet with her, my daughter Annie had to go to the doctor, which was not planned. And I just said, Annie, I'm sorry, I can't go. I cannot cancel on this lady again. And so two good things came from this. Annie went to the doctor on her own, which I thought was really important for her to do, because she had not done that. And she was able to describe to the doctor, what was wrong with her foot and stuff. So that was a good thing out of it. And I got to meet the lady, and she was just over the top happy that we were going to carry her gift boxes at our shop. Lastly, I was checking the time. Lastly, one of the best praises of all, given consideration that I am going to be short on money, even more so in January, I decided that I was going to go back to my area of expertise in human services and community work. And I came across a job on Indeed for a local nonprofit agency, which I was very familiar with. And I will be working with families where I can help reconnect them with the teenagers and the kids and the young adults in their home after they go through mental health care. And yeah, it's literally a perfect job for me. So much that how could I not know God had his hand in this and just had me waiting on this lifeline the entire time. It was like I almost knew that he was waiting or not willing to just immediately fix my financial instability quickly. I think he had to see that I was not going to overreact and just trust him. And yeah, I cannot say enough about this job because it's going to be part-time. I will be able to almost make my own hours. When I spoke to the ladies during the interview, I just was very upfront, and I said, I have been, living this life pretty much on my own without a lot of work responsibilities. They knew I ran the shop, but most importantly, I told them I just needed to continue to be a mom first and spend what time I could with my daughters, especially the youngest one, who will be having all these volleyball matches, and they totally understood having teenagers themselves. So listen, when something like this happens, along with all these other resolutions, my heart just grows closer and more connected to God in a way that I did not realize could happen even more so in my life. I have learned so much more about who I am over the last couple years, but even more so these last couple of months. I'm not a fan of growing older, the whole skin sagging, achy joints, metabolism slowing down and being forgetful, and just the whole slowing down thing. But what I do appreciate is more wisdom, more godly wisdom, and really focusing on what is most meaningful in my life and removing tons of negativity and pessimism from our lives. I'm totally over the people from my life who just don't care about my daughters, and the people who are overly dramatic and only bring stress and anxiousness to me. I've learned that I can absolutely live without them. Without them, it's not something that I'm turning my head on or being inconsiderate or rude about. I just think that if there's people in our lives that don't actually bring anything truly positive and you don't hear from them much, there's just really no reason to infect yourself and your mind and your mentality with that. So that's been a huge win for me. I really have learned what's most important, and that is who I am in God's eyes and the mom He wants me to be. You know, there's no more looking for that right man in my life. When He shows up, He shows up. And I will know. There's no more worrying about, what other people think to a certain extent. I mean, we've always got to be conscious of our appearance and how we talk and the things we say and the things we write. But there's no more trying to push people to accept me and my daughters. We just are who we are. So I notice when I try not to impress and I just be who I am, how content and comfortable I can actually be when talking to people. And it's got to be one of the best feelings ever that I have not truly experienced. I have also noticed that when I lost weight and felt better about my eating habits, how it changed the direction of my thoughts. My weight loss and giving more attention to exercise and healthy activities just did wonders for my attitude. I don't think I have been more comfortable with being goofy in my life with the girls the way I am now. And that includes like just doing TikToks with my youngest daughter, with, saying funny things over and over, with dancing, singing in the car. Thank you, God. Seriously. I just have to give Him tons of thanks. Finally, I know what I want to do besides working this job, which I really look forward to. I know that in the beginning, I still want to juggle working the job and continuing to do the work that I do for the shop. But if it gets to be too much, I'm going to have to let the shop go. But for the most part, I realize that my purpose in life is absolutely not done. I do want to do more. I have a mission and a goal to fulfill. Here comes my daughter. I know I'll be helping all sorts of people in my new job, and I continue to pray to finish my book. I want to get my YouTube channel more noticed, and I love to open up another shop. Not one that is solely focused on coffee, but one that has more books, artists, and then coffee and fun snacks. But most importantly, one that helps the mentally ill. As in one that offers resources and a place to be at peace, while also raising money to help fund organizations that focus not only on mental illnesses, but also suicide awareness. I know these things go hand in hand. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, not just in my life. Hi, Claire, I'm recording. I've seen it, I've witnessed it in my life with people that I love very much, and my heart goes out to those who are in so much pain and those who cannot afford their medicines or feel as if nobody cares about them. I really want to help them. I have no idea how I'll do this, when I'll do it, what it will look like, but what I know is my heart feels it. I've come to terms with the fact that I also have a mental illness, and I've had it for years, that I have self-medicated for years to not feel it. But when I let go of the substances, I could not figure out who I was, and it only caused me a lot of internal pain, lack of confidence, confusion, hurt, low self-esteem, and I lied at myself again in the depths of despair, which I did coat once again with a substance, being alcohol. And finally giving that up, and now I'm finally at a place where, I can enjoy a beer after, working out in the yard a lot. But I do know that I'll always probably be very conscious of it, and just be aware to always be careful, and teach my daughters that as well. This one went a little bit long and off subject, maybe, I guess I just saw how much better I handled the challenges life threw at me over these past few months. And I realized how much I have grown emotionally and mentally. And I contribute that growth to my relationship with Christ and giving up addictions. I've also come to terms with the mental illness that I have. And I know that I'll maintain it with medication. Not sure if I'll ever not be on medicine. But what I do know is with God, I am in a much better place, and isn't that part of who I always want it to be? Yeah, absolutely. Like, you have no idea. I want to preserve this peace of mind for myself, my girls, and my son. I know things will not always be perfect and hunky-dory, but I've definitely shown myself how I can get through it all. And as a result, it just makes that much more sense to continue my blog and my YouTube channel, because that's who I want to be. I'm not just going to show you all the things that I've passed and got through. I want to take you with me through all the things that are difficult and have affected me in the moments, and how I get through them. And that's what I did here. So I want to be here for you, for anyone who needs me. Perhaps it's not always going to be like being there actually in front of you physically, or maybe not always financially, but definitely resourcefully and socially, I want to be there for you. So anyway, that is it. It's going on 22 minutes. I try really hard to keep these under 25 for sure. Anyway, I just want to thank you guys so very much for listening. I am off to get a few more things done. I've got another post to write that's going to go on our coffee shop page. And also, I think I'm going to go to a vendor market today by myself. And I really hope they're open after 3 o'clock. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. I think if I had a question for you, which I always love including in my posts, is, let's see here. Let's think of a question, because I didn't have one written down. What is something that you feel really good about now? Hang on. What is something that you feel really good about now about yourself that you've grown to appreciate? Something from a past life that was particularly difficult to get past, but now you realize how much you've grown and gained wisdom from. Yeah, that's a good question. What is something that you've really gained wisdom from and handle so much better now? All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you again so very much for listening. And I will be back with a new post and new information, and just fill you in on everything else that's going on in my life. Appreciate you guys. God bless you. Remember, all things are possible with God. Just definitely ask Him to come into your heart and mind, and know that, yeah, we're always going to have these trials and tribulations, but with God, it is so much easier to get through. Take care, guys. God bless you. Enjoy your day.